Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's practical, which is on catalysts. Catalysts are chemicals that speed up the rate of a chemical reaction without being consumed. So as long as you have enough of the reactants available, then you can simply have your reaction continuing at a faster rate indefinitely. Obviously, the amount of concentration of the reactants will limit that. Now, the one that we're using today is a fairly common one that's used around, which is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide goes under the chemical formula of H2O2, and what happens is that will naturally break down to water and oxygen gas if you leave it alone. And it's the reason why that you can see here that the bottle that we keep it in has to have a vent to allow the oxygen to escape, and then when we use it within the laboratory, we put it into one of these beakers or reagent bottles here, and then we store it into the fridge. Today's practice, we're going to add yeast to hydrogen peroxide to see if we can speed up the rate of the reaction. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got some warm water here to activate the yeast. So in one, I'm going to put a full amount of yeast, and in one, I'm going to put only a very small amount of yeast. In fact, pretty much close to nothing. Then what I'll do for each of those is I'll stir it up, and the warm water here will activate the yeast and basically get it working. So you can see there we basically stir it up, and this one we stir it up as well. So there's actually more catalyst in this beaker than in this one here. Okay. Now, as usual, the write-up will come up on the screen, and what I would like you to do, please, is pause the video, copy that down, and then restart the video when you are set to go. Okay. Here you can see I've changed the camera angle because I basically want to show this reaction in its entirety. So what we've got here are two 1000 ml beakers, and to that I'm going to add approximately 100 mils of hydrogen peroxide. So this is freshly come out of the fridge. So fill them up both there, so we have the same amount, so we can actually see the reaction that's occurring. Now we're going to add a couple of things to it also. Okay, we're going to add some detergent to it first, just some common detergent. So we'll give nice 2 squirts of detergent into both, and that will help to produce some bubbles, so that will be able to give us an idea of the reaction. And just to make it so it's a little bit more interesting and a little bit easier to see, we'll add in some food colouring, so we'll make it nice and dark there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of the beakers of yeast in at the same time, and then the reaction is going to occur, and what we're looking for is which reaction is going to be the quickest. Now we'll place them a little bit closer together so we can see them through there. We'll take away the bottle. So in this one, in this beaker, into this measuring cylinder here, I'm going to put the full teaspoon of the catalyst, and into this one I'm going to put the half. So here we go. Now you can see straight away that in this one we have an increase in the amount of a gas that's being produced, and this particular reaction is what's commonly known as elephant's toothpaste, which is a fairly common one. Now you can see that on this side the bubbles are now starting to be produced, but obviously this one is occurring a lot quicker. It's about to basically come up and over the top. You can see here that we have the oxygen that is present, and we can tell that there is the gas here that's occurring through that particular procedure. Now you notice that at the time, and we've got far more occurring on the right hand side than we do the left hand side. So this is the one that had more catalyst to it. So effectively what a catalyst does is it speeds up the rate of the reaction. It doesn't get consumed, which means that we'll still have our yeast at the bottom there, and then we can reuse that if we simply keep adding more and more hydrogen peroxide in this case. Once again, if you'd like to fill in the prac write-up, write your conclusion, and then see your teacher please if there are any problems that you have. Thank you very much.